Hi, I'm Tasha Milligan with Pathways to Peace Counseling, and I wanted to do a little intro about how to use Google Slides for telehealth, and namely how to play games. So to begin with, I am going to share how to use it on a computer and then how to play these games on a mobile device. And tablets can fall somewhere in between. Some of them might work more like a computer and some of them might work more like a telephone. So I am going to start with the desktop, and let's see. Right, it's not letting me escape. Okay, so here we have Google Slides, and this is a game that I created today called Candy World. I'm calling it Candy World, so hopefully I won't get sued. So to begin with, the first page is just the cover, and then so you don't want to use the presentation mode whenever you are playing games on Google Slides or on PowerPoint because it won't allow the links to work. And so you'll just go down to, like, here's the instructions page that we're going over the instructions, so you don't really have to read that. But here's the game board. And the way it works is each person who is playing the game would select a pawn, and I typically move them onto the board. So say we have purple and orange. Then what will happen is the next slide is the spinner. And so if you click on the link for the spinner, it will take you, and what you do, you tap the link that you want to follow, and then it will show the link down here. And if you tap on that, it will take you to a website that has the spinner on it. So we will click to spin. Be moving to green, and it's hard to navigate because my Zoom pop-ups are, oh, come on, when go away, pop-up. Move this out of the way so that I can get to where I need to go. Okay, back to Candyland. All right, so now we'll go back to the game board, and so let's say purple got green, so I'm gonna move the purple pawn, and I try to leave it next to the space that you land on instead of directly on top of it, because otherwise it's hard to follow the link. So then I'm gonna tap on the green, and then I see my link to slide 9. So I click on that, and green, tell about a time you were scared. I felt scared whenever I saw a snake. And then I'm going to follow all the white arrows will take us back to the game board. So we'll follow that back. And then, so instead of going back to the spinner again, what I would do is my tabs are up at the top, so that web page is already open. So I would just click to that tab and then spin again. Otherwise, you're just gonna open like 50 tabs by the end of the game at the top. So this one, we got purple. So go back to the Feelings Candy World tab. And so you can either click the white arrow to get back, or you can just go up to the navigation bar on the left and get back to your game board. And then we'll move, was it purple? What color did we get? It was purple. It's nice that you can go back and check. So you know what, I went too far. So we will click on this one, follow the link. Purple, tell a time that you felt loved. I felt loved when I got hugs from somebody I care about. So then you would just proceed all the way around. And with this game, you start down here in the bottom left. And so you'll snake all the way around until you get up to the gumball machine at the top. And whoever gets here first would win. So basically, if you're on red and then whatever the next spin is after that, as long as you don't land on a space that person would win. So it plays like Candyland, but each one that you land on will send you to a prompt. And so you just follow that prompt and you follow it back. And so this is how pretty much all of the Google Slides will work as far as following all those links and then getting back to the game board. So I typically put an arrow in the bottom right corner of each slide that will take you back to where you want to go for the game board. And in that way, Feelings Candyland, like all the red ones are going to send you to the red slide. But in other games, they might take you to all sorts of different questions, and there might be 50 slides on one game. So it is really helpful to follow those links. That way you're not having to scroll all the way back up each time. Now, it is a little bit different whenever you are playing it on a telephone rather than on Google Slides or on a computer. Now, one other thing I want to mention before we move over to the phone is whenever you are playing it, if I'm on a computer and my client is on a computer, I can share my screen and they can interact and they can do the clicking if you prefer to let them have control over the mouse. Or typically when I'm playing with a client online, I maintain control of the mouse. That way they're not just going nuts doing whatever they want to do. We have a little bit of an order to it. So you can decide how you want to do that, whether or not you want to share your mouse. Now, if your client is on a telephone, I've never been able to make it work to share the mouse on Zoom. So that's something to keep in mind, is that a lot of this, it's not that the client can interact with it, it's just that you as the clinician can take control of the mouse and walk through the Google Slides. And I would practice it a little bit because sometimes it's a little bit tricky navigating back and forth and sharing and getting to the right spot. So become familiar with it, and then that can help. So now I'm going to move over to my phone and I'm going to share my screen. Only the host can share in this meeting. New share. Stop share. Let's see if I can make it work. Advanced sharing options, all participants. And that's something to look at too, is you can go to the, instead of just hitting the green button for share screen, you can click on the little green arrow next to it and it will give you more options. It will give you the advanced sharing options. So, so that will allow your client to share their screen back. So I am going to go to my Google Drive and going to scroll down and find, oh, another thing I didn't mention, and this is important, whenever I share Google Slides, okay, we have it pulled up. This is the one from my phone. So whenever I'm sharing a slide with somebody, and say I share a slide with my client and they're clicking around on it, everything that they do and everything that they move around gets saved. So what I do is I share a copy of the Google Slide so that each time it's opened, it's only a copy. And so whatever happens goes away after it's closed. So it's a safer way of sharing it without worrying about somebody messing up what you have created. So with this, if I just tap on it, it will automatically move to the next slide. Now, I am not able to use my pawns whenever I'm playing on my phone. So it looks a little bit different, and it's actually looking different on the screen on Zoom than it does on my phone. So I'm on the game board, and so on this, I don't even have to do the drop down. If I just hit a purple one, it's going to automatically take me to the purple slide. And then if I click the white thing, it's going to go back. So I can't use my pawn. So this is something that you would probably have to just remember and maybe a sign for your clients. You have to remember which space you're on, or have some sort of way of remembering where they are. So now you can use a little pencil tool and say like um, like I put an X right there on the orange one saying I was on the orange one, and then the next time I was on the yellow one. So that's one way that you could kind of keep track of where you were. But so it just works a little bit differently. So, but anyway, so you just tap, and so it follows the links that way. So it just looks a little bit differently, and some of the features aren't available. But again, you don't want to do it in presentation mode because that will prevent the links from working. So anyway, I hope this tutorial is helpful and will help you get in there and play on the Google Slides. And it seems to work the same whether you use Google or Safari, the different browsers that you use, as far as I have experienced, seem to work the same. It is a little bit more difficult if you're playing in PowerPoint. Now, I have to say, when I'm creating things, I really enjoy using PowerPoint a lot better because it gives you a lot more options and you can be more creative and you can, work with details a little bit better. And I don't know, it's easier to do it in PowerPoint than creating something on Google Slides. And then basically you upload it to Google Drive and then save it as a Google Slides file afterwards. And it will automatically convert all the links over just the same as what you see here on this document. But whenever you play on PowerPoint, you have to hit Control click, or on a Mac, you're supposed to hit Command click. And I've run into some people that have had some issues with that, but it seems like the Google Slides seems to be a more stable format, regardless of which device you're on. So anyway, I hope this helps, and this is a free resource. So have fun and play some Candyland and process some emotions. Thank you for watching.